craziest part is I woke up this morning and I'm like, wait, our stream's not for another hour. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
no, the clock's going backwards. Definitely screwed us up for sure.
Somebody,
Anyways,
I'll just say one thing. Anybody who's in the comments right now, can somebody logically explain why in the months that we have less sunlight, we get another hour of prime time?
it's so
I
I
don't
believe it's
understand
so
that.
that in the hours that or the months that we don't or that we want a lot of sunlight, the farmers can be open longer. Basically,
Got you.
it's
Okay,
it's
because
not about getting less sunlight this time of year. It's about getting more sunlight in the
in the
spring, I
spring.
believe.
Okay, fair.
But apparently they're getting rid of it in like the next like year or whatever. If you look up like are they getting rid of daylight saving time? I think it's going forward this year, like in March, and then they're never doing it again.
What I've
At least
never
in North
understood.
America. I don't know if they do it anywhere else, but
I've never understood the point of daylight savings time. Like,
that's the point. It's so that the farmers get an extra hour of sunlight in the summer, I believe.
fair. Okay. But wouldn't the common solution just to be to stay open longer in those
Well, they
months?
need light to do it.
Okay, I
They
guess.
can't like farm in the dark, I guess. I have no idea. I think that's what the reason is. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Anyways, we are live. What's going on? Fellas, Andrew, first one in here. Should I start Drake London or
both of them.
Rondale Moore over Swift and PPR due to
Both
the
of them.
line saying Swift will be at limited capacity? Okay, so let's just touch on Swift right off the bat because I'm sure we're going to get 68,000 questions about
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift. Where I have DeAndre Swift in my weekly rankings, I have DeAndre Swift around my RB like 22 range, I believe. I have Jamal Williams, Antonio Gibson, Devin Singletary, Deion Jackson, Cordero Patterson, Deontay Foreman directly ahead of him. Directly behind him, I have guys like David Montgomery, Michael Carter, Eno Benjamin, Kenyon Drake, AJ Dillon, Tyler Algier, Khalil Herbert, etc. So that's about where I view DeAndre Swift in this situation, in Andrew's situation here. I like London this week, so that leans me towards going towards London, but I think I'm still going to start Swift in this decision.
I think I would go with both the receivers here. I don't. Okay.
Danny's lower on Swift than I am this week.
And again, I still have him like a running back 24 because the running back position this week is kind of dog piss, to be honest. But when it comes to it, like he had 10 touches last week. And then after the game, Dan Campbell literally said he had too many touches. So that scares me for what potential workload we could see here. Like, is he going to be like a 5 opportunity guy, a 7 opportunity guy? Like, I don't see him getting back to 10 if Dan Campbell literally said after the game that he got too many touches given the injury status that he has. So I just don't really see a lot of upside here because, I mean, you would need him to average like 10 yards per touch and score a touchdown for him to even pay off. And at that point, it's like, yeah, like Drake London hasn't played well, but you still see the target share. You still see that the Falcons are starting to throw the ball a little bit more. So with London, I just see a higher ceiling here. And then with Rondale Moore, I mean, this has been a legitimate 20+% target share guy in 3 of the last 4 games. The one outlier game where he didn't get it was, oddly enough, that game on Thursday Night Football against the Saints, where DeAndre Hopkins was almost exclusively used in the slot. Everybody's like,
He had like a
you got
50% target share that game too.
well, because everybody was like, well, you got Rondale Moore. He's a 5'7" receiver. Why are you playing him on the outside? And then the next week, he basically spent all of his time in the slot again. So I'm
The
assuming
Cardinals
that,
have never figured out how to properly use their wide receivers. Like this has been a running joke for a couple of years. Like
yeah.
fake sharp Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know how to actually deploy his wide receivers.
Well, I mean, it was pretty obvious that he was a bad hire when you realize that this guy had a losing record at Texas Tech with Patrick fucking Mahomes as a quarterback.
Yeah, and he had Baker too on his roster,
And Baker.
didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brutal. Anyways, Geno Smith or Kirk Cousins?
I got Geno a little bit higher.
I have Kirk Cousins so unbelievably high this week. There's very few quarterbacks I would start over Kirk Cousins.
Where do you have him ranked?
7.
I have Geno at 9, Kirk at 11.
Yeah, I mean,
they're close. Like they represent the same thing. I trust the Seahawks offense more in their matchup against.
Like, I would start Kirk Cousins over Justin Herbert this week.
Really? That's
with
spicy.
No receivers. I would start Kirk Cousins over Justin Herbert.
Oh, that's spicy.
I have Justin Herbert at 9, dude. I don't have him high at all.
I'm at 5.
I like the over under in that game, and I think it could definitely hit. But I think what we're gonna get out of Justin Herbert is just a ton of Mike Williams or Austin Eckler checkdowns and hopefully some Gerald Everett stuff. Like I don't know. I don't love the Chargers in that game. And to Gordo's next, thing here, he's his upset predictions. The Falcons beat the Chargers. I definitely think that the Falcons can win this game for sure.
I agree.
He also says Devin Singletary, Nyheim Hines, definitely Singletary. I don't think Hines is going to be involved quite enough yet that we're worried about Singletary's workload. I think that's probably a next week type of concern.
Agree with that. You got the comments.
My upset prediction, yeah, like you said, Falcons beat Chargers. I like that one. Lions beat Packers. I don't think the Lions are going to win this game. I think the Packers win this one pretty easily. Commanders
love
beat
this one.
Vikings.
Love
I like
this
that
one.
one. The Sharps really love that one too. Panthers beat Bengals. I mean, it's possible given the injuries that the Bengals have, but I still think the Bengals should win that game. And I really like the Bears beating Dolphins as well as the last one.
I think the Bengals are going to boat race them, to be honest.
Like I think the Bengals and the Packers would ruin that one for you, but I like the other picks.
499 super chat here quickly from Aggie. Appreciate that. He says, bye week hurting my running backs. Do I play Eno or Hines or pick up and play Drake, Pacheco, or Hilliard? Definitely go and pick up Drake because he's a top 24 running back for me. Gus Edwards.
Do you play him over Benjamin, though? I would play Benjamin over him.
Is James Conner officially inactive?
He's active. He's playing, but I would still rather play Eno.
I would take Drake over Eno if Connor's active.
I
get it.
Higher. I literally have him 24 and 25 in my rankings. The reason I have Eno a little higher is because I think Connor's coming off a multi-week absence. He's probably only going to get like a 30% snap share. I don't think we're going to get a huge James Conner workload. It probably downgrades Eno from like the 75% snap share guy that he was to like a 60% snap share guy. But in the game environment of the Seahawks-Cardinals game, I actually really love like just playing pieces in general from that game. So I like this week, but I don't mind Drake. He's probably the safer workload.
I will DM Spicy Hot and send him the link to the stream in case he's Do
you want to do a bet on that one? Because I kind of like that.
Absolutely. Let's run it.
Okay.
We got another super chat here. Appreciate that from Alfredo. He says Pitts or Everett flex, Carter, Rondale, Duvernay. I have Gerald Everett as my tight end too this week. I would actually.
I have Kyle Pitts as my tight end too, so we can do a bet on that one too.
Another one, yeah.
I like them both. I like them both. They're both in my top 4. I just have Pitts as my tight end too.
By the way, Alfredo, if this is the same league, I'd actually go both Everett and Pitts in this situation.
Yeah, honestly, I probably would, especially if it's like PPR or something like that. I don't mind that, but if you can't and it's a different league, I would go Carter of those options.
Yeah. I'd go Rondale.
You go Rondale over Carter, eh?
Yeah. Carter is not a great player. He's dealt with illness all week. He is active for this game, but again, he probably didn't.
Yeah, I guess he is. Well, no, I think that's Michael Carter.
Oh, I thought that was
if
DeAndre
that's Michael Carter, I would go with Michael Carter. If that's DeAndre Carter, I would go with Rondale Moore.
Agree with that. He also said this is the same league, so I'd actually just go with both tight ends here.
Yeah, just go with the 2 tight ends in that situation for sure.
Agree with that. Appreciate
you still going with the 2 tight ends if that's Michael Carter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I think both sides of that matchup, obviously Pitts they're playing each other. I think both of them are going to be the focal points of their offense, especially, on the Chargers side, you're losing Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Gerald Everett's played well. I think this is going to be the Gerald Everett and Austin Eckler show on that side. And on the other side, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and maybe like an Olamide Zacchaeus long touchdown. Like, what else is going on with the Falcons passing attack?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, so is that good on the supers?
We got a couple more here, so I will quickly get to them. Appreciate the first one from Toronto Dave. He says PPR start 2 flex spots, likely Herbert or DJ Moore. So this is an
DJ Moore's got to be in your lineup for sure out of those options.
DJ Moore's the lock, but then you're talking about a 50-ish% snap share type of running back with Khalil Herbert, and you're talking about potentially a top 5 tight end this week with likely. And PPR, I think I would go with the upside of likely here. With Bateman now, with Andrews like doubtful, and
Andrews
I don't expect
doubtful,
Andrews to play.
It's not officially ruled out yet. It's a little sketchy.
I would take the gamble on likely. I think
I'd take the gamble on likely. Hopefully, like you got like a Jarvis Landry on your wire or something. If you had to pivot, then you could.
Yeah.
If Andrews is a surprise active this week, but I think even if Andrews is playing, he's probably not going to be a complete guy that's on the field the whole time.
Agreed. Appreciate the super chat there, Dave. Another one here from Chaos at $1.99. He says Pitts or likely full PPR. I would go with Kyle Pitts here. Let me just make sure that I have it ranked that way because okay. Pitts was buried a little bit. So I have Pitts at 4, likely at 5 officially this week.
I'm cool starting likely over any tight end not named Goddard who already played Pitts and Kelsey. If you wanted to play likely over Everett or Ertz, I wouldn't hate it, but I would play both Everett and Ertz over likely, and likely would be my tight end 6, and I would play him over any other tight end that you guys can ask about. Tunyon, Hawkins, Taysom Hill,
Evan Ingram, Taysom Hill,
Tyler Conklin, whoever. Like I would play likely over all those guys.
Agree with that. We are all caught up in here. So
Alex says, in a 1 quarterback keeper league, I have Dak, Lawrence, and Geno. Planning on keeping Lawrence. No one wants to trade for Geno. Do I drop Geno to pick up a tight end because Schultz is on bye, or just drop Schultz? I'm cool just dropping Geno to pick up a tight end. It's a 1 quarterback league, so I'm not, married to picking to holding Geno Smith.
That sucks that you can't keep both Dak and Lawrence here.
Yeah.
That's
I would rather keep Dak though, just for reference. Like you said, you're planning on keeping Lawrence. I would rather keep Dak. He's like 29 years old.
If you know, I mean, it's a keeper league, so you won't know if you're contending or rebuilding, I guess. Like if you're rebuilding, I don't mind.
I still think
Lawrence
I'm keeping Dak, man. He's a quarterback. It's not like I'm worried about him like losing a step.
No. I agree with that. I'm just more so saying for future value because you're holding.
For future value, I still think I would like and it's like dynasty stuff as well. I would still rather have Dak than Lawrence in dynasty, unless I'm in a full status like tearing it all the way the fuck down. Like I'm taking Dak.
I agree with that. We are all caught up right here.
Yeah, I would pick a tight end in your position there, Alex. Building off that last question, do I stream Hunter Henry? Okay, so these are the tight end options he had. Conklin would be the guy that I would go with.
I'd go Auden.
Really? You'd go Otton over Conklin?
We got a
lot of tight end bets this week.
Well, because I did the streamers video, and I mean, Kate Otten ran 92% of your routes last week. Russell Gage is banged up. Is Julio Jones even officially active?
I don't. If he is, he's going to play like a 30% snap share.
That's what I mean. So I mean, Evans is probably going to get the Jalen Ramsey treatment. I'm assuming every time they match up, it's all basically.
For what it's worth, he doesn't really. It doesn't really bother him. He usually destroys Jalen Ramsey.
That's fair, but basically what I'm saying is, he's not going to have like a 15 target game on.
This is like an over the middle type of defense, right? Like you want to avoid Bobby Wagner, but aside from him, like they don't really have a good
dude. Even Bobby Wagner's been bad in coverage.
He's been like a really good. I don't know how. I haven't watched a ton of like Rams defensive play, but he's been one of the highest graded PFF linebackers. So I don't want to mess with him necessarily, but
I guess. But I mean, like even like
I think we're gonna get 15 target Chris Godwin today, like guaranteed. Like I think it's a lock to happen. I have a bunch of bets, alternate receiving yards on Chris Godwin 80 plus because I think he's gonna get a lot of yardage in this game.
Because I mean, the Bucs are gonna throw the ball as much as they can because they can't run the ball to save their life. Like I think this is gonna be.
They're not gonna be able to run the ball at all in this game. Gadecki isn't playing though, so we are playing this UDFA left guard that we've had playing has been way better than Gadecki. So I'm glad that they're playing this kid instead.
Wasn't Gadecki like a second round pick?
He was a second round pick. Yeah, I mean. There's still he came from a small school, so it's possible that he's like a developmental replacement for Shaq Mason down the line. But I think at the time, like as of right now, you got to play this UDFA at left guard. And
how is Shaq Mason played?
When Jensen comes back, you move Hainsey to left guard probably, or Jensen can play left guard also. It doesn't really matter. But I think they'd rather have Jensen at center.
How has Mason played this year?
He's been fine. He's not as good as Marpet. He hasn't replaced Marpet one for one, guaranteed.
You can't do that.
That's why our line has been so bad compared to what it was in previous years, because Marpet was like an all-pro caliber left guard.
Top 3 level guard, yeah.
Yeah, like he was unbelievable. He also was like him and Jensen were like the physical like tone setter leaders of our offense. So the fact that they're not out there, our line is playing a little soft. Like as good as Wirfs is and as solid as Donovan Smith and Shaq Mason are, they're not like power players. They're like the finesse offensive linemen. They're not the powerful guys that Marpet and Jensen especially were. So hopefully once Jensen comes back. Anyways, let's stop talking about this shit.
I will say one thing. It's kind of unrelated, but it's related because it's the other side of the matchup. You're talking about Rams Buccaneers. Apparently it officially got leaked that the Rams offer for Brian Burns was a 2024 first round pick, 2025 first round pick, and 2023 second, I believe.
I can't believe you don't take that. Honestly,
you have to.
There's not many players, like non-quarterback players in the NFL that trade package doesn't go through for. Like any edge, any tackle, any whatever cornerback. That should get it done for pretty much any player in the NFL.
The Rams will be picking in the top 5 to 10 picks, probably, maybe by 2024.
Yeah. Oh, dude, 2024 and 2025, those could be very high picks for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If Donald retires and, Kupp's going to be like 31 at that point in time, and you got Stafford's going to be like 37 with back injuries and shit, like McVay might retire. Like that's a bad move for the Panthers. They should have taken that for sure.
Yeah, especially because you're rebuilding. You're going to have to pay Brian Burns in like a year or two. Like, no.
That's not even a year. Dude, he's going to be on his 5th year option next year.
Oh, so basically a year, yeah. You're going to have to pay him.
It's wild. I still think we should have picked him over Devin White, but, what do I know?
Yeah.
We probably don't win that Super Bowl without Devin White. Let's just put it that way. But
you'll take the opportunity.
I've never seen a player get dragged harder in the media in one calendar week in my life as hard as Devin White's been dragged in the Buccaneers media this week.
Brother, should I tell you about the Cowboys media when Cooper Rush went on a little winning streak?
Oh yeah, it was probably pretty bad. But this is like throwback to Jameis Winston 5 interception game, like dragging in the media for Devin White this past week. Anyways,
Yeah,
he
let's
also says,
smash
lastly,
these,
do I start Josh Palmer or Gabe Davis? You start
Gabe.
Gabriel Davis there. Pick one,
Uh,
Algier or AJ Dillon.
I'll go Algier.
I think I'd go AJ Dillon here, knowing that CPAT's
I'll
going to
bet
be
that.
active. They didn't really ease CPAT in last year when he was coming off of a couple week injury. So I'd probably go AJ Dillon. It's a really, really good matchup against Detroit.
That's fair.
We know what AJ Dillon's role is, right? He's the goal line back. They haven't had any goal line opportunities in the last 5 games, which is why AJ Dillon has not been very good. So I think Dillon's going to get back on track in this game.
No, that's definitely fair when you consider the matchup. Yeah, I would actually agree with that.
All right, Brock, how y'all doing? Doing great. Everyone yes,
appreciate that.
You guys get a question answered. The least you could do is hit the like. If you're new around here too, hit the subscribe button. 2 questions. First is Michael Carter or Eno. Very close decision for me, but I will take Carter. He also says Swift unlimited snaps, McKenzie or Elijah. If that's your decision, yeah, you go Swift for sure.
Yep. I got a super chat here from Nigel. Appreciate that. He says rank Amon-Ra, Evans, Lamb, rest of season, half PPR. I'm going Lamb, Amon-Ra, Evans.
Yeah, that's probably the order I would rank them as well. But they'd all be kind of like
tier 2, 3
wide receiver 6 to 12.
Yeah,
in my rest of season rankings. I moved Evans up a little bit from the last rest of season rankings that I did.
Yeah, no, definitely fair. I'm really excited to see how the Cowboys offense looks down the stretch because, I mean, we saw the glimpses in the first half against the Bears. And when you're playing not the Bears and you expect teams to potentially have good weeks, because, I mean, as good as Justin Fields played, they just simply didn't have the weapons that could really physically pose a challenge.
I think the Bears did a great job considering what they
considering their weapons, absolutely.
Offense and how good the Cowboys defense is. I think they did a great job on offense that game.
I agree with how they play, but I'm basically saying, like, as good as they look, like, we know that the Eagles and Hurts are going to pose.
Oh yeah, if the Bears play that way this week, though, the way they played against the Cowboys, they'll score 45 points and they'll win the game.
That's what I mean.
The Dolphins defense doesn't hold a candle to the Cowboys defense. Even with Chubb added, I don't think they're going to be nearly as good. Sucks that Mark Andrews is doubtful. Hopefully, Everett can get 15 or more points. I'm also playing Everett in place of Mark Andrews in our listener Dynasty League. I wanted to flex both of them, like put Everett in my tight end spot and wait and see on Andrews because I have Jarvis Landry as a pivot. But yeah, not looking good for Andrews so far.
It's kind of cringe because in my home league, I'm playing the Herbert Eckler stack, but I do have the blocker with Gerald Everett. So, like, hopefully it just gets a bunch of Gerald Everett work, but I'm scared this could be a 20-target Austin Eckler game.
Yeah, no, dude, I think we're guaranteed a 20-target Austin Eckler game today.
It's going to be fucking ludicrous. You have where we left off.
Yeah. Need a flex. I have AJ Dillon, Rondale Moore, Hendo, and Josh Palmer. I'm going again. I'm going AJ Dillon. I'm going back to AJ Dillon this week.
No way. I would take Rondale.
I like AJ Dillon this week, man. I think he's going to have a great game.
I'll take Palmer here.
You'll take Palmer versus AJ Dillon? Palmer. You want to bet on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Spicy's home. All good.
Okay. Hurst or Pitts? Easily Pitts there.
Pitts, yeah.
Also Hurst
Dulcich
or Dulcich rest of season. Yeah, Dulcich rest of season's probably like a borderline top 10 tight end. Legitimately, like he's been really good so far. In his limited play in his rookie season.
Agree with that. Got another super chat here from Nigel. Appreciate that. He says, must win this week. The buys are killing me. I have CMC Lamb on buy. I feel you. In that one home league I was talking about where I'm double tight ending Everett Naughton. Like 6 players on my team are on buy this week. Big pain. He says, my starters are B-Rob and Rashad White, flex Garrett Wilson. Would you trade Evans for Pittman and Connor? I would just probably eat the bye week. I really like the outlook of Evans the rest of the season.
Yeah, now. No, I think there's a solid difference between Evans and Pittman rest of the season.
Yep, I would agree with that. Probably like a tier or 2.
Yeah, dude. In our listener Dynasty League, I have so many players on buy / so many players that are out. Like I have Saquon, Debo, Deontay, Wandale, Mark Andrews.
I play you, no?
Huh?
I play you in that league, no?
Oh yeah, this is the league you play me in, right?
Right. Oh fuck, I had Darren Waller in. Let me fix that real quick. That would have been bad.
I have Ryan Tannehill in. That would also.
Dude, look at my tight end options, bro. Dulcich is on bye. Parham's on IR. I have to start fucking Trey McBride.
Yikes. I have to start Sam Ellinger in my super flex because Tannehill's out and Jameis isn't the starter anymore. And yeah, so
I'm praying for a fucking Trey McBride stealing a fucking
Dude, look at my retirement home of a flex spot.
Is there anybody actually
Jarvis, Landry, and Julio in my flex spots because of all my bye weeks?
Dude, I literally can't even stream anybody. Look at the fucking wire at tight end right now.
Yeah, dude, it's a dynasty league. What do you
Oh
expect?
man, this is brutal though.
Yeah.
I'm toast at tight
Anyways,
end,
do we
bro.
have any more supers, or can I go back up to the top?
Got two more. Sorry, I was just looking at my team. Full PPR. Who to pair with Mahomes, Tony or Hardman? Give me Kadarius Toney here.
Yeah, I'll take Kadarius Toney there. I don't know exactly what his workload's going to be in the first game, but I'd rather take the shot on him than Hardman.
And by the way, I'm going with 3 target on the season Trey McBride this week against you.
Yes, sir. I'm starting Jarvis Landry and Julio Jones, so you're good.
Full PPR. Gibson versus the Vikings or Deion Jackson versus the Patriots.
I love them both this week, to be honest. I think I would start Gibson over Deion Jackson this week.
Oh, that's close. Who do I have ranked higher? I have a Gibson at 18, and I have Deion at 16. So I'd actually take Deion slightly.
I had Deion higher, but I got to move Gibson up because I think Gibson's a top 16 play this week.
He's 18 for me. He's close.
With JD McKissick out, I'm just not sitting Gibson.
Very, very close. Here you have where we left off. Let's crunch these.
Power through. Here we go. King Marcelo, need a flex PPR. London Zay Jones rain game. Okay, so that Jags game is gonna rain. That sucks, man. I have some parlays on Devontae Adams and Christian Kirk's overs on receiving yards, so that's not great. But given this decision, give me Drake London
pretty easily there for me.
Yeah. Josh Palmer, Tyler Boyd, Gabe Davis. Give me Gabe Davis there. Rolando. Yep. Donald, what up? How y'all doing?
How you doing, Donald?
Doing great. Likely or DeAndre Carter? Give me likely there, Joe. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields. I'll take Fields, but I like
Fields
Rodgers
by a landslide for me.
I don't mind Rodgers this week.
I have. Let me see where I have them ranked.
But I think there's a good chance that Rodgers just does nothing aside from manage the game while AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones.
That's what I think's going to happen.
Run it down the Lions' throat.
I currently have Justin Fields as my quarterback 10 on the week. I have Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback 17. So.
Yeah.
Got one more super chat here from Nigel. Thoughts on B-Rob this week and going forward? He's like an RB4.
High-end RB3.
I wouldn't even say RB3. With
mid RB3, low-end RB3. Like, he's not that exciting, to be honest.
Yeah. He's like an RB3-4 range for me. I would
Rest of the season and this week.
Yeah, I agree with that. You have where we left off.
Mm-hmm. He also said in this, this question was different. Amon-Ra or CD rest of season? Lamb. I'll take Lamb there slightly, but I love Amon-Ra.
They're both
also.
really good. Yeah. Agree.
Lenny or Swift rest of season?
Swift. At least with Swift, I know.
Even though Swift is already injured, I think I would rather have him because I'm anticipating Leonard getting injured. Like, and I know
bench.
Or bench. Like, there's a lot of paths where Fournette doesn't, necessarily work out from a fantasy perspective rest of the year. He's got, the workload now, but I don't think it's going to last the whole season because of, his touches, his history with injury, and the fact that Rachaad White's outplaying him.
Yep. I got another super chat here from Goonboy. Appreciate that. He says, "Sup, boys? Patterson or Swift?" I'd actually go with CPAT here.
Yeah, I'd go CPAT as well. I have CPAT. For those of you guys that have him, I'm starting him as like a top 20 guy in the league that I have him in, which is our Patreon redraft league. I think he's going to be just fine this week. I don't think he's going to. He had like an injury that probably shouldn't have even put him on IR, to be honest. So the fact that he's back already and he's ready to go, I think he's going to be just fine.
Yep. You have where we left off.
A-Rod or Fields full
Fields.
PP. Oh, who's going to catch more passes?
Fields is a better athlete. Get him in space. He might catch a pass.
Fields there for sure.
But he actually catches a pass.
For sure. Thanks, my guys. No worries.
Anytime.
Rolando, Palmer or Kirk? I mean, if the weather's going to be a problem in Jacksonville, that might factor into that decision, but I think I'd still go Christian Kirk regardless.
Agree with that. Got another super chat here from Nigel. Rachaad White and Jalen Warren will be league winners. I can see it, man. Honestly, Jalen Warren,
Jalen Warren probably less so because I don't anticipate Najee getting hurt. I think I wouldn't be shocked though if it came out after the season that Najee needs like foot surgery or something like that.
He definitely will.
As mid as he was last year, because we kind of all agree that he probably wasn't quite as good as he looked. Way better than he looks this year. Like he looked way better than he looks this year, and he still was a good prospect. I feel like everybody's going a little bit to the other extreme where they're pretending he was like this overrated prospect. I'm like, you guys all had him RB1 that year. Like, let's not pretend that. Like, there was definitely people that had Javonte or ETN RB1, but for the most part, he was a consensus top 3 back lock.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Another super here from saying much because it wasn't a good class, but
another super here from Nigel says Chance Chase comes back after the bye week. When is their bye week? Because I think he's not coming back till week. He's not coming back till week 14. I don't think.
Jamar, you don't think he's gonna be out? You think he's gonna be out that long? I don't think he's gonna be out that long.
Week
I think
12 to 14.
Like 12 to 13, probably.
I'd say 12 to 14. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, that'll probably be the aim for him, though. If their bye week is, maybe it's week 11 that their bye week is. I can't actually remember exactly when it is. But if their bye week is, if the first game back after their bye is week 12, I think he has a chance to come back then.
You could. Also, I'm starting McCole Hardman against you in that league.
Gross. Happy Deion Jackson Day. I remember when you like put him on the trade block after his three touchdown game. That's classic Danny
It's tradition. Come on.
Yeah.
Picked up Likely in my home league with Njoku out. Why was he on waiver? Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. In a dynasty league, we're in the process of updating our dynasty rankings manifesto, which the update should be live for on Monday. If you guys are patrons and or have access to our dynasty rankings manifesto, Likely made it inside my top 20 tight ends. Like when you have a tight end that showcases some talent at a young age, like he vaults pretty fast because the tight end position is just that gross, especially long term. So yeah, I mean, Likely should definitely not have been on waivers, and he was probably. Tight end is also another position I just absolutely love taking dart throws on in rookie drafts. Once I get to the 4th round of a rookie draft, I feel like tight end is almost the highest hit rate of any position because people just undervalue the position overall, and you can get guys like Likely in the late 4th of your rookie drafts.
By the way, I will say this one time, but I've seen somebody comment the exact same question a good 8 to 10 times. One time, like if you ask the question one time, we will get to it. You don't have to say it 8 times. You don't have to say it 4 times in a row in a comment section. Like, no.
We go in
descending order.
Descending order here. We're at 11:50 a.m. So just keep track of when you guys ask your question, and then you'll be able to, be on your merry way. Anyway, Aaron says, "Hello, gents. What's going on, brother?
What's going on?
B-Max breaks. Will the real B-Max stand up?"
Remember they beefed?
Yeah, they did. Kamara news. Okay. This is another interesting thing because me and you both have Kamara in important leagues. You have him in our Patreon league. I have him in my home league. I don't think Kamara is going to get any discipline this year. That's my thought on it. I think the news or the video is kind of inconclusive and maybe not even will hold up in court, to be honest.
I think it's still admissible.
I think they're still going to use it as like evidence, but the problem I have, and I read Drew Davenport, who's like an actual lawyer's thread on the situation. He thinks they're just going to continue to push this back into like the off season, and he's probably going to get suspended for it in 2023. But if you guys have Kamara, I probably wouldn't panic sell him thinking he's going to get, exempt for the rest of the year. The video isn't bad enough for that to happen. It would have had to been, Kareem Hunt bad for that to happen.
By the way, apparently, according to Jay Glazer, the Packers offered the Panthers also a 1st-round pick for DJ Moore, and they didn't take it either.
Wow. They offered. That's crazy.
So they offered
they could have sold DJ Moore and Brian Burns for
3 ones and a 2.
3 ones and a 2. I mean, if you're going to bring a young quarterback into your team, you probably want to have some pieces around him. You don't want to be completely barren roster, but
you could just draft a receiver though.
I know, but like
leverage.
Yeah, I think the smart play, if I was the Panthers, would be to sell those players, draft, young receivers, young pieces to build around my quarterback, and let my quarterback sit.
Yeah.
And not get his ass kicked in the first couple of years of his career.
Agree with that. Got a super chat here from Nigel. Appreciate it. He said traded Dak and Hines for Chase. Hope he comes back sooner than later. If this is a 1 quarterback league, I'm more than fine with doing that.
That's an easy trade for sure.
Easy.
Especially if you have Justin Herbert also, you should be just fine.
Agree with that. Appreciate the super chat.
Yep.
You got where we left off.
Yep. Dylan says traded Tua for Stevenson. Haven't had a good quarterback all year. Drafted Lance and then picked up Wentz. Still have Jacobs and Etienne at 4-4, so need to win. Did I make the right move? Thanks for the content. Okay, so you traded Stevenson.
1 QB league. Redraft.
I think you traded Stevenson for Tua based on the wording of his question here.
I
think you got hosed if that was the case.
You got ripped off.
Yeah, you got smoked.
You gave Stevenson for Tua in a 1 quarterback
like
redraft league.
Tua's a fine, every week starter at quarterback, but you gave up a top 10 running back. So that's a big yikes. If you got the Stevenson side, great job. But if you gave up Stevenson, which is what it sounds like, I think you got absolutely ripped off. I would need, what kind of quarterback would you need to give up Stevenson for? I probably need Mahomes.
I was gonna say somewhere between like the Dak.
I don't think you get
Hurts,
Hurts, Lamar, or Allen, but I think I would need Mahomes.
Mahomes, Kyler, Dak would probably be in that.
I probably wouldn't even do it for Kyler, to be honest. If I had Stevenson, I'd want Mahomes. That'd be the Mahomes or Lamar would be the 2 quarterbacks I think you could get out of that.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Where we left off, boys. I need you more than ever in week 9. Start a limited DeAndre Swift or Khalil Herbert as RB2. Thanks. They are like back to back in my rankings right now.
I have Swift a little bit higher, so I would go with Swift.
I have Swift 1 spot higher. I Swift at 26.
That's a legit conversation though. That's what we're talking about with. But like, you got to think limited DeAndre Swift is about a 55% snap share player, like we saw last week, which would be like a season high for Khalil Herbert, right?
Yep.
So I think, and the Packers' run defense is really bad, and we're probably expecting a pass-heavy game script out of the Lions. So I like Swift there a little bit more. Duvernay or Drake? I mean, luckily you can wait on that decision, but I'd probably go Drake. given that Edwards is most likely going to be out for this game.
Damian Pierce in one of my home leagues, dynasties, just got traded for a first and a second.
Damian Pierce?
Damian
Where
Pierce.
did so I guess you haven't finished your running back rankings yet, but
No.
in my running back,
he'll be like RB 10, 11.
Yeah, dude, the RB rankings in my we're updating our dynasty rankings manifesto, and where Damian Pierce fit into me among like young running backs, he was the RB 11 for me among young running
Jacob,
backs, not
Steve,
including Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley and those guys.
Really? So you have him lower than I do, which is pretty crazy.
I have
okay.
So the guys I have ahead, or sorry, no, RB9, not RB 11.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our like RB 11 overall. Like Jacob, Stevenson, and him are like kind of in that area.
Yeah,
together.
they're in the same tier for me. Yeah, but I still do have Breece Hall and Javonte Williams ahead of Damian Pierce despite the injuries.
Agreed. So you have where we left off.
Yeah. Edward says, "Hey y'all, hope all is well. Need some help.
Well.
Half PPR, Pacheco, Algier, or Brian Robinson."
Algier.
Yeah, I'd probably go Algier, given that that CPAT is coming in with an injury, and the Chargers are so bad against the run. Full PPR, Mostert, DK. You got to lean there. That's close.
I love the Mostert matchup this week going up against Chicago, especially too.
In full PPR, especially, I think I'm
playing Metcalf. Oh man, who are your running backs you're starting over Mostert? Because he's like a top 12 to 14 level play for me this week. Actually, no, he's higher. He is my RB9 this week. Oh no, that's standard. Okay, that makes actually more sense. I was gonna say, what the fuck? I don't have him that high. He's my RB11 this week. When it comes to Mostert, I would lean DK, especially in a full PPR, but I need to know who your other running backs are that you're sitting Mostert. Because I mean, the matchup against Chicago is so nice, especially with the win,
the team total and shit. It's just it's really enticing for him for sure. But I would start DK.
Agreed.
At Gillette right now. Shit. Okay.
Good luck.
Anticipating Ramondre will run for 150 against the Colts. Go Pats. I think we're getting a slow drizzler of a game, but I do think Ramondre is the dude that is going to lead the charge for the Patriots.
He had like 10 targets last week.
Yeah, I know. It was wild.
Fucked. Okay.
I'd have to move him up, given that I don't think I've moved him since
he's my RB8 this week.
I just moved him up ahead of some guys there too. DeAndre Carter or Drake London for flex and full PPR. Drake London. I think Drake London's probably going to get back on track this week.
Agreed.
Again, we don't know if they're going to go pass heavy because they don't typically do it, even if they're losing games, the Atlanta Falcons. But I think Drake London will get back on track because the outside corners for the Chargers are in rough shape right now. We already answered that. So please ask your question once. Likely or Pitts. I think he super chatted that, but we said Pitts. Man, Dallas season's on best tight end value.
I thought you were talking about the Cowboys for a second.
No, Dallas Goedert has been unbelievable this year so far. He's been so consistent. He's had the spike games now with the Thursday night game that he had. I'm very glad that he's definitely one of my highest roster tight ends on Underdog. I have him everywhere in dynasty leagues and redraft leagues. I love Dallas Goedert, man.
Hey, dude,
that trade I made with Clowning Dion's before the season, aging like fucking fine wine, by the way.
What was it?
I traded him Devontae Adams and Rashad Bateman for Justin Jefferson and Dallas Goedert.
Oh my God.
And then I then flipped Justin Jefferson with Deontay Johnson and Julio Jones to get T. Higgins, AJ Brown, and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, no, literally.
So not bad. Not a bad return.
Fucking crazy.
Everett or Likely. They're like back-to-back for me, but I would take Everett.
Yep. Agree with that.
Santos or Bass.
Give me Bass.
Give me the point total for the Buffalo Bills. Too cute to play Fields over Kyler today. Yeah, I think a little too cute.
I have Kyler higher, but
it's not crazy, but like I would still play Kyler.
Agreed. I have Kyler at 7. I have Fields at 10. So this isn't out of the fucking
Goddard on your bench for Ertz. I would have probably flexed Goddard, to be honest, depending on your options. I would have been fine playing two of them.
Yeah, and I would have played Goddard over Ertz regardless.
Yeah, I would have as well.
Hopkins easily.
Go Hopkins 100%. I don't know how
Hopkins is my wide receiver 5
I don't know
this
how
week.
That's a flex decision for you for starters.
Hopkins is my wide receiver 5 this week.
Yeah, he's very high for me also. Herbert or Swift full PPR. I think we had a similar question, but I would still go with Swift slightly. Singletary or Dobbs full PPR. I'll take Singletary there, given it's the first week that Hines is there. I think Singletary's going to get his full workload.
Agree with that, but I mean, I don't mind the matchups for Dobbs either.
No, I don't either. I think he's got great matchups as well.
Give me Gabe Davis there, John.
I'll take Gabe Davis there.
And I know people probably say this all the time. I get it. The target share is low for Gabe Davis, but there are not many players in fantasy football that can like basically win you a week on their own, and Gabe Davis is one of them.
By the way, if you guys want my lock of the week, that game's going under, guaranteed. I think that Bills Jets game is like 45.5 points, I think is the over under right now. Guaranteed going
Easy
under.
under.
Number one,
Yeah.
the Jets are not going to be able to score. And number two, I think the Jets will hold Buffalo to like a decently low scoring total for Buffalo standards.
I think the Bills win like 27-10.
Yeah, like that's the type of score we're talking here. And I think 27, that might be a little high. I think the Bills will win like 21-7 or something like that. Like that's what I think the game is going to be. Does likely have flex appeal later this season with Bateman
He has
out.
flex appeal this week.
He has, yeah. If Andrews in the lineup, I'm probably not going to mess with throwing Isaiah Likely in there.
Yep.
Unless I see some kind of like, usage development where they're both on the field very, very often, like 70% of the routes or something, then I'm probably not going to mess with Likely as long as Andrews is healthy. Morning, fellas. What's going on? Domain. Who to flex? Jamal Williams, Claypool, or Christian Kirk?
Kirk. I didn't see Kirk at the end.
I think I'd take Jamal still.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I have Jamal Williams inside my top 20 running backs, man. I think he's a great play this week.
Yeah, and I mean with the weather concerns, I get it.
Yeah,
I probably still personally would go Kirk, but like that's fucking really
in
close.
full
I don't mind
PPR, it probably is closer towards Kirk, but I think I would still go Jamal Williams regardless.
Yeah,
Herbert or Carter in standard. I'll take. Assuming that's Michael Carter. If you guys have Carter questions, let us know, please, if it's DeAndre or Michael. But I would go with I'd go with Michael Carter there if that's Michael Carter. Traded Deion Jackson and got Russell Gage in return. Thoughts for Dynasty? That's a fine move for Dynasty, I think Russell Gage will probably have more like Jacoby Myers type of appeal once he's actually healthy, because he's not been healthy at all this year. So I know he's been kind of like a terrible signing so far for the Bucs, but I think he's going to be better once he's back actually, healthy and on the field, and he's, just not been. In a full PPR league, who should I start? DJ Moore, Josh Palmer. Okay, so DJ Moore is the guy I'm going with at the wide receiver decision there for sure. They're light. And then Chiefs defense against the Titans and probably Malik Willis by the sounds of it, or Vikings defense against Taylor Heineke.
Easy. Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs against Malik Willis as well.
And more over Palmer.
Yep. Lazard, Patterson, or Duvernay. I'm going Cordell Patterson there.
So you bought basically prolonged usable morning time, so there will be more daylight at morning instead of push all schedule to 9 or 10. Just makes
right. So it's not that they can work later; it's that they can get up earlier. That's what it is.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Fair play. Appreciate that, Jeff.
Swift or Patterson. I'll take Patterson there as well. Boyd, Duvernay, or Palmer.
Boyd and Boyd and Palmer's very close.
I think I'd probably go Boyd, to be honest.
So Boyd, I haven't officially moved Palmer. Actually, no, I did move Palmer up. Palmer's my wide receiver 26, Boyd's my wide receiver 24, so I would go with Boyd.
I have Boyd at wide receiver like 22, and I have Palmer in my like early 30s, so I think I would go Boyd.
Who do you have higher, Juju or Boyd?
I have Boyd one spot behind Juju.
Okay, I have Boyd one spot behind Juju as well.
Yeah, I just moved Palmer up a little bit to 28 because I think
do you have Myers lower then? Who do you have lower?
I have Myers 23, so no, I don't have Myers lower.
Your Myers lower than Boyd then? If you said
Boyd's 22. a little bit.
Okay, I have Myers ahead of him. That's why.
Yeah, I don't like the game total in that game. Plus Kenny Moore's
9.5. Yeah,
corner. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Deion Jackson or Jamal Williams. I think they're like back in my rankings right now.
Deion was Zach Moss basically inactive or playing sparingly. Like this.
I know he's basically inactive. I have Deion one spot higher, but that is a really, really close call.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Myers or Gabe Davis? Give me Gabe Davis there. Jay Heebs, Alan Lazard, Josh Palmer, Christian Kirk. Sit one.
Easily sit Lazard.
Coming off of the shoulder injury, probably you're sitting Lazard. I think it's a great matchup though, man. It's tough. I might sit Palmer there. I think I might play Lazard over.
I'll bet you Palmer over Lazard this week.
All right, let's do it. We already have a Palmer bet, by the way, with another Green Bay Packer. One versus Palmer.
So I'm all in on Palmer this week. Fire up the Palmer, lads.
I guess I'm just all in on the Green Bay Packers.
Or not Palmer.
Yeah, I'm just not in on Palmer, I guess.
Yeah. You have where we left off.
Yeah. Deion Jackson, Swift, Patterson, Palmer, and Boyd need one running back and one flex. So Deion Jackson and Patterson is probably where I'm going in this decision.
Yeah. Patterson versus Boyd's close if that's a full PPR.
Yeah.
I would go Boyd in PPR.
I think I'm going CPAT regardless. Shall I write it down?
Sure.
Okay. We also have the next questions from Ethan. Start to A-Rob, London, Moreau, PPR tight end premium.
I might go London and Moreau.
Carlton and Dean are both playing. I don't think A-Rob's going to get an inch of separation against.
That's what I'm saying.
Guys. Give me
London and Moreau.
London.
Yeah, agreed. That's fucked.
If Allen Robinson has a good game, I would be heavily stunned this week.
I got to move Foster Moreau up my tight end ranks. That's one name I forgot to move.
Lazard up my wide receiver rankings because he's buried because of the injury.
Where would you rank Moreau? Like, I have him tight end 13 right now. Yeah, I that seems like a fun spot for him. We got another super chat from LOL. He says London versus Rondale Moore. Start to Palmer, Williams, or Moore. So for the first question, London versus Moore. I think I have London higher. Let me just double check here.
I have London higher.
They're both in like that wide receiver 25 to 35 range. I just don't remember who exactly I have higher. I have
27 and Moore at 33. So I have London a little bit higher.
I have London at 28 and Moore at 32. So we're almost lockstep there. Start two, Palmer, Williams, Moore. Who is Jamal Williams?
Jamal Williams probably. Jamal Williams is a lock of those options for me. And then Palmer would be the other guy
yeah,
I would probably go with.
Agree with that. Got another super chat here from Ethan. Appreciate that. He says PPR tight end premium pick 2 London.
Oh, we just answered that in the
That's awesome.
Version, but yeah, give me London and Moreau there.
The timing of that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we left off though.
Yeah. Jeffrey says likely or Tunyon. Give me Isaiah Likely, and then he said, "What is the trade value for JT?" Oof. Any kind of low end RB1 kind of value if you can get that.
If you were to redraft rest of the season right now, I mean, I guess you did your rest of the season rankings, but if you were to like redraft right now, JT's probably like, does he get into the second round? I don't think he does.
I had him RB11. Oh, sorry, I had him RB11.
So you're probably gonna have like 10 receivers in that range. You're gonna have the quarterbacks,
like
you're gonna have the tight ends.
Transition off of Jonathan Taylor for CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins type. I probably would do
Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans. That's probably a conversation, but I'd probably do that as well. And then at running back, if you could get Ramondre Stevenson or DeAndre Swift or
Jacobs.
Yeah, that's a good one too. If you could package him in a deal to get up to somebody better, like an ETN or a Kenneth Walker or something like that, I would absolutely be doing that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this is gonna sound gross. If you guys don't want to hear gross shit in the chat, plug your ears. But I think Mostert versus JT rest of the season is a really big conversation.
Yeah, no, that's wild that it's probably a conversation. I think I'd still take Jonathan Taylor, but it's close.
Yeah.
Michael Carter or Deion Jackson. Deion Jackson there.
Yeah.
Brian, Tom Brady, Geno Smith, or Justin Fields. Full PPR.
We firing up to Geno this week.
You're going Geno over Fields?
I'm going Geno over Fields.
Really?
Geno's my quarterback 8.
Over Geno, I think.
I have Fields at 10. Geno's my quarterback 8 this week.
Really? I literally, it's funny that this is the question because I have Fields 10, Geno 11, and Brady 12. So I would go Fields, and we can fire that one up as well.
Even though I love both this week, like they're both in my top 10. But yeah, no, I would actually take Geno. So
I'm noting I might be biased in this decision because I'm starting Fields in my home league and placed Dak who's on bye. So maybe that's why I'm favoring Fields. But I love the outlook for Fields this week. The Dolphins' pass defense isn't that difficult, and Fields has been running.
I'm starting Geno in a home league to replace Dak, so we're both biased.
Okay, so we're completely both biased then. Hey, chat. Hey, we're answering your question. You don't need to chat.
There you go.
Josh Palmer or Jamal Williams for my flex, half PPR. Give me Jamal Williams. Yep. AJ Dillon, Pittman, or Taysom Hill, half PPR. I'm taking my junior there.
Yep. Pittman.
Dobbs or Palmer. I think that's like really, really close for me, but I think I would take Palmer slightly.
Guys, get on the super chat here from Alfredo real quick. He says CPAT or Michael Carter at RB2. I believe I have Patterson higher, so I would take Patterson. Yep, I do have Patterson higher, so I would go with Patterson.
Also, Dick Cheese Accumulator, greatest name of all time. Starting Pat's defense, do I also start Dion or plug in Herbert? I would start Dion. I don't care what defense I'm starting. I'm still starting
at the end of the day, if the Pats defense pays off, it's going to be because Sam Ehlinger's turning the ball over more so than Deion Jackson just having a terrible game.
Yeah, BMAC just texted me, Eno or AJ Dillon. What do you got there?
Eno
slightly probably.
If Connor's out, I'm going to go with Eno. If Connor's
not going to be out, he's already active.
I think I would go Dillon. That's God, that's fucking close. By the way, okay, so Q215. This is the comment that we got to. All right. I saw the same comment like 10 times. This is who I was referring to
Is this the
earlier.
one that was spamming?
All
Sure,
right.
sure.
I'm gonna be lenient because we don't got spicy hot, warning the chat, everything. I'll be nice.
Oh, okay. This might change some decisions for people.
What?
Falcons to ease Cordero Patterson back in week 9.
I told you that.
Okay,
I told you, man.
I'm pivoting. So I'm personally pivoting. If you guys, want to know what you should do with Patterson, I'm gonna leave him on my bench this week. I'm gonna start Deion Jackson in place of him in our listener league. I could still play him over Garrett Wilson, but it's a full PPR league, and Elijah Moore's in the doghouse. Corey Davis is out. I think Garrett Wilson's probably gonna get peppered in that game. So I'm leaving CPAT on my bench, and I'm gonna move him down probably in my running back rankings.
Allgeier's going up, baby. Let's fucking ride.
So CPAT was at 17 for me. Would you rather start Swift or CPAT?
I'm gonna have Swift one spot higher. All right, let's get back to the comments.
Yeah, would you rather start Michael Carter or CPAT?
Carter.
Yeah, so CPAT moved down to RB23 for me after that news came out. So I moved him down quite a bit.
Q2, give me Deion Jackson over Jamal Williams. Okay.
Slightly, yeah.
Here, Jonathan wants the fucking moderator. You got it, brother. You've been loyal in here, so I will give you moderator.
Who, J Full?
I'll give both of the moderator. I was talking about Price 33 because he asked for it. He wanted.
He's a classic.
So I will give him and J Full moderator if I can do it from here.
Anyways, I'll answer some questions while you're doing that. Devin Duvernay, Alan Lazard, or Robert Woods. I will take Alan Lazard there. Ilya, Zay Jones or Landry. Half PPR. Landry's questionable. I think Zay Jones isn't a good enough option to pivot off of Landry. I think Landry will be just fine going into that game, so I'd go with him. Tom Brady, Geno Smith, or Justin. Oh, we already answered that. That was Justin Fields. Cool, man. DeAndre Carter or Eno today. Casey, I would go with Eno there, even though Connor is going to play. I think Eno still gets the majority of the work. London or Garrett Wilson PPR. Oof. I think I take Garrett Wilson there slightly, Jay Heaves. Same league standard. Gabe Davis or Olave. Oof. You got a lenient there?
Give me Olave slightly.
They're really close in my rankings, but I would take Olave by a little bit. Jacob says, need 2 in PPR. Swift, Patterson, Herbert, and Deion Jackson. Deion Jackson's in my lineup for sure, and then I'm probably going Swift over Patterson and Herbert. Devin Duvernay, Alan Lazard, or Robert Wood. Oh, we already answered that. That was Alan Lazard. Yeah, please ask your questions only once. Good evening. Good evening. Wonder where Dick Cheese Accumulator is located. Palmer or Rondale, half PPR. I think we already answered that, but that was Palmer. Good morning, boys. How's it going? What's up? What's up? I need to drop 1 in full PPR. Brian Robinson or Gus Edwards? Oof. I'd probably. Who are you rostering out of these two? B-Rob or Gus Edwards?
Gus.
Yeah, I think Gus has the higher ceiling, so I'd probably be cool dropping Brian Robinson if you had to.
Jonathan, J-Full, is your username have any capitalized I's? Because I'm trying to type you in to give you moderator, and it's not.
His thing is like J-Full Metal K or something like that, right?
Yeah, but I typed it in like that, and it's not showing up directly. So I'm not sure. Maybe he has like capitalized I's instead of the L's. Maybe. Just type in or message me like how it's exactly spelled, and I'll give you moderator.
Anyways, I have Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift, Deontay Foreman, and Mostert, but I also have Isaiah Likely, 2 running back, 1 flex PPR. Then which wide receiver do I start? Okay, so for your first decision, I would go Jamal Williams over Swift, and I would bench Swift from Foreman and Mostert. That's probably what I'd be doing there. Yep. And I would just because you have Isaiah Likely, I think Foreman and Mostert are much better options than him. So I'd go with those guys. And then which wide receiver would I start? I would go with Garrett Wilson of those options over Mooney and Hardman. Appreciate it. No problem, Dave. DeAndre Carter, DeMarcus Robinson, I think, or Khalif Raymond pick 2. Yikes, you're in a bad spot. I would say DeAndre Carter's for sure in my lineup, and Khalif Raymond's probably the second guy I go with of those options with Josh Reynolds out. Colts defense or Bengals defense. Colts play the Patriots today. Bengals play the Panthers. I'd probably go Bengals defense.
Yep, I agree with that.
Palmer or Garrett Wilson, full PPR. I'll take Garrett Wilson there slightly, Jaquan.
Yeah.
Deion Jackson.
We already got through that. Yeah. That's what I was referring
Palmer,
to.
Alan Lazard. Give me Alan Lazard. A lot of people needing to decide between Lazard and Palmer. By the Palmer Lazard in that decision. We have I believe. So that's why we're different on that one.
What running back can I get for Debo?
Uh,
I doubt you can get past the Ramondre tier.
No, I doubt you can get. I think the best you're looking at is like Miles Sanders, Raheem Mostert, probably. So I'd probably just hold Debo if I were you until he has comes back and maybe has a spike game.
By the way, Jonathan Price 33. I got you. I found you. I just couldn't find J-Full.
Yeah, you're both just named Jonathan. Apologies.
Yeah.
Deion Jackson or Micah Pittman. Is that Micah Parsons or Michael Pittman?
Michael Pittman actually has a brother named Micah.
Really?
Yeah, he played for Oregon. I don't know where he's at now, but he has a younger brother named Micah Pittman.
Oh, true.
It's spelled with a Y though.
I would go Michael Pittman Jr. if that is your decision there.
Also, Corey Van, I'm going to give you moderator because you're the OG as well.
Yeah. TJ Hawkinson or Taysom Hill. Give me Taysom Hill there. Alex Smith, former Chiefs quarterback and Washington quarterback. Logic in the chat. Wow. Bucks or Chiefs D. I wonder when his next album's coming out. Bucks defense
Chiefs
against the Rams or the Chiefs defense against Malik Willis.
Chiefs.
I'll take the Chiefs defense against Malik Willis.
Florida
Morning,
State,
everyone. Full PPR, Swift, Carter, Rondale, Foreman,
Foreman's the lock.
3. So Foreman's the lock there for sure.
Carter.
Carter is probably my next guy as well. And then
I think I would take Rondale next.
It's hard. You get two limited running backs here. If these guys were all healthy, it'd be very easy. It'd be Foreman, Swift, and CPAT. But I think I would go Swift over Rondale, to be honest.
I'd take Rondale. His target share the last 3 out of 4 games has been way too consistent for me to play maybe a 7.
Still Rondale more, and it's still the Cardinals. They look like a dumpster fire half the time.
That game's got a high implied total.
It does, but like the Cardinals have also been one of the worst teams to bet on their over-unders for because they've been so like inconsistent on offense to the point that like the other team has to carry the spread.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would go Swift, Foreman, and Carter there personally.
I'll bet you Rondale versus Swift, as gross as that sounds.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, then we got Brandon's in the chat here. Are Deion Jackson and Deontay Foreman good starters? Yep. The only other running backs, no, I would start those guys over the ones that you have listed there. Herbert or Fields. They're back to back in my rankings, but I would take Herbert slightly.
Yeah, agreed.
Deion Jackson, Garrett Wilson, Swift, or Carter.
You can only start one.
Only start one, I think.
Why is Deion versus Garrett Wilson like? Really
I would have Garrett Wilson the highest out of these guys.
I think I would take Garrett Wilson too, but like I actually really like Deion's outlook this week.
Yeah, I might be just like really high on Garrett Wilson relative to everybody else.
I have like top 25.
I have him 21. Or no.
Where do I have him? I have okay, no, I have Garrett Wilson actually a little bit lower. I have him on 25 at the dot.
Yeah, dude, I have him at 20.
Yeah, no, I have him at 25.
I have him high. I think Garrett Wilson's a great start this week.
He's a great
lot
player.
of Deion Jackson's talk today.
Yeah.
Deion Jackson, Khalil. That's why he's on the thumbnail. Deion Jackson, Khalil, or Algier. Yeah, give me Deion Jackson there. Yeah, I know it's not. He definitely will get the bigger workload, which is why I'm going with him.
I mentioned that I was going to give him moderator, and then it was because he sent this. So I appreciate that, Corey. Sorry for the 3 minutes wasting your time pretty much. But Jamal Williams or Leonard Fournette, I would still go with Leonard Fournette, but that is relatively close. They're both in that mid to back end running back 2 range. Until Fournette plays better, that's got to be your expectation for him. But with that being said, I mean, his workload is so locked in. I would go with Leonard.
Yeah, agreed. Palmer or Dobbs or Myers in the flex. I'm going Myers there.
Yeah.
I have Ramondre RB1. Yeah, I know that you don't want a lot of Patriots in there, but those are like the driving forces of that offense between Ramondre and Myers. So I'm going with those two.
Yep.
Especially in full PPR too. Good morning, fellas. Flex
Palmer.
Dobbs or Palmer.
Palmer.
I'll take Palmer there slightly.
Yep.
We already answered that, but it was the Chiefs defense. We already answered that. I like to put them in.
Appreciate that, brother.
Disappear. G team here from good old CA. Love the show. Canada or California? I'm not sure.
Either way, appreciate it wherever you're tuning in from.
I got 2 questions. If Connor plays, should I? Okay, so Connor is playing. He's officially active. Should I drop Benjamin
White
or Terrace Marshall, Rashad White? Yeah, I would want. Benjamin's also still like a solid piece to hold, though. Is the only thing. Like I don't mind just holding Benjamin still.
Yep. I would still want
like if you're not in a position where you need to start Benjamin every time he's like on your on your team, then I would go and rather stash Rashad White though. And then in the second part of your question,
London.
there, give me Drake London there.
Yep, agree with that.
Especially in a sexually transmitted diseases league.
Let's smash these comments. Speaking of STDs.
Yeah, literally. Yo, guys, in one league I have Kamara, Walker, ETN, CMC, and Barkley. How on earth do you have that running back core? That is literally 5 of my top 7 running backs rest of season.
Okay, the clear one for me. I would say Kamara, but he might get like negative backlash now because of the news. So
yeah,
you might have
Kamara
to
would
hold
absolutely be the one that I trade given what we know about his legal situation. But I think you're better off just holding him because he's not going to have as much value as like a Walker and ETN would. I would probably trade ETN.
This might sound like a hot take. I would see if you can get Diggs, Cup, Jefferson for Barkley. That's how I would attack this.
Maybe. Yeah, that could be a possibility. If you can get one of those elite 3 receivers for Barkley, I would do that. But if the best you can get is like Kamara for like a Monra or something, I'd probably hold him. But if you can go, you should be able to go like ETN for Adam, or you already have Adams. So, yeah, you already have Adams on his team. So I don't know.
I would leverage Barkley for top 4.
You'd rather trade Barkley for a top 4 than trade ETN for like a 5 to 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
You would rather would you rather have AJ Brown or Travis Etienne?
If
I could get AJ Brown for ETN, I think I would rather do that than trade Barkley for Diggs or Cup or Jefferson.
Yeah, because like if you can get like Lamb or Brown, sure, but like
I would rather have AJ Brown than Lamb by like
no. But I'm saying if you like if you can get one of those two, sure. But like if you're going like lower than that, like Evans area, like I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm probably on board there. But I would definitely look to shop one because like that's just like the most embarrassment of riches running back core I've ever seen. Bye week struggles. You guys comfortable flexing? Yeah, I'm cool going with those guys.
I don't mind that. Yeah, I'm starting way worse at this point.
Yeah,
I'm starting Isaiah Pacheco in the league.
Chris Moore on Thursday night. Like, what do you mean?
I started Philip Dorsett.
Yeah, Chris Moore had fucking 12.5 half PPR points though.
Shout out.
Love to see it.
And Philip Dorsett had 9.9 PPR, which I mean, like, isn't great, but I'll take it. You know, like Drake London got me 1.9 last week, so I'll take it.
Adams had 1 point last week.
Yeah.
Palmer, likely Lazard. I feel like we've gotten like
Palmer.
the same Palmer and Lazard questions a million times, but I'd take Lazard because we are disagreeing on that take.
Yeah.
Also, this guy's name is almost Lazard too, so that makes sense for you.
Yeah, if you want to go Lazard, you know, support yourself. I rate it.
Our 10-man dynasty going for a 2-peat. I traded Hall for Barkley. Wow. Had 2 Hall shares and wanted to move just in case he makes an Akers JK type recovery. Yeah, I think, you know, in your competitive position, I would rather have Barkley than Hall, to be honest, because you're competing, given the injury. So yeah, I'm fine with that. And I don't think you sacrifice value by any means.
I hate it because I had to move Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley up to my dynasty running back 2 and 3. Also, shout out the new king running back 1 in my dynasty rankings, Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne's your dynasty running back 1.
Travis Etienne. I moved him up.
The same king I've always had is my RB1 still.
Really? You have JT?
Yeah, I still have Jonathan Taylor 1.
He's 4 for me, but I think that top 4 is pretty interchangeable right now.
I don't have Barkley or McCaffrey in my top 4.
What?
I don't.
That's spicy. Realistic, cheapest player you trade.
That's fake news. Sorry, Barkley's my RB4.
Fair.
I have JT, Travis Etienne, Kenneth Walker as my top 3 running backs, though.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. The top 5 to 6 is pretty fluid, I think, and then after that, it's just chaos.
I still, gun to my head right now, would still take Breece Hall or Christian McCaffrey in a startup.
That's too much, I think. Okay.
Because it's completely team dependent if you're not talking about in a startup.
That's fair. Realistic cheapest player you trade JT for, I mean, we take Stevenson over him.
Yeah, that's probably
where you're at.
I'd take Raheem Mostert plus or Miles Sanders plus.
Would you take Chris Godwin or Jonathan Taylor if you had that offer in your inbox right now?
I think I'd keep JT.
I think I would too, but like that's probably like right at the
conversation,
right?
Yeah, like borderline top 15 wide receiver type of area.
Yeah, I agreed with that. Appreciate the super chat from you, Raphael.
Yep. Do I pick up Moreau or Likely with a hurt
Likely.
Waller? Yeah, pick up Likely for sure.
Yep.
Hollins or MVS or Marshall? Ew, that's a gross decision. I'd probably go
Terrace.
Hollins.
I go Terrace.
You go Terrace Marshall?
Dude, he
fucking
got 9 targets.
1 game of 9 targets. I'm not ready to do that. Matt Collins has been earning targets all year.
That's fair. If you want to use that basis, I'm
MVS also not a terrible play either.
They're all in the wide receiver 40 to 50 range for me.
Yeah. I think the ceiling play is actually MVS if you're looking for just like a bomb touchdown against the Titans.
I love how I said Marshall. Actually, I have it ranked as MVS, Hollins, Marshall, but they're literally like almost back to back to back. So I guess I just went against my own fucking thing. So I would actually go with MVS. But
I think I go MVS too. Different league redraft, just traded Fournette, got Adams. Thoughts? Great move. Yeah, great move. I like Adams over Fournette by a wide margin.
Love that example of buying low. You saw that Adams had 1.2 PPR points, and I get it. People want to say, process over results. We want to see the targets, yada, yada, yada. I know, like, everybody's going to say it, but everybody has to admit at some points they get in a stage of panic if they don't see the points coming. And the patient ones, the ones that understand that, hey, volatility is going to happen, you got to live with the blows sometimes, they're the ones that get ahead. So the fact that you were able to say, okay, listen, I get Adams had a bad week and Fournette had a decent week. You leveraged Fournette's good week to the owner. Say, hey, listen, he scored 15 PPR points. Adams only scored 1. You went to him. You said that. You got an upgrade at your position. I mean, Devontae Adams, the rest of the season is like a 10 target per game type of wide receiver.
Yeah, in the game that, if you remove the flu game that he just played, he's 10.5 targets per game. And he had a couple games with like 15 plus targets, and he's one of only a few receivers in the league that you can say has the capability to earn 15 targets in one game.
Agreed.
And in my opinion, he's still the best receiver, like real life, in the NFL. Rondale Moore, Garrett Wilson, Dobbs, Samuel, pick 2 half PPR. Garrett Wilson's a lock out of these guys for me, and then Rondale Moore's versus Dobbs is probably a close discussion, but I think I would go with Rondale Moore.
I go with Rondale and Garrett. Yep. Let's rapid fire these.
Yeah, Deion Jackson, Khalil Herbert. Give me Deion Jackson there. Palmer is due for a breakout game.
I agree.
I'm not 100% convinced.
Gabe and Pitt.
Yeah, I'll take Gabe Davis and Pittman there as well. DeAndre Carter or Isaiah Likely in the flex. Give me Isaiah Likely.
Yep.
There, getting killed by bye weeks and injuries. What we are learning? Danny hates running backs and Bush only dislikes running backs. Fun to see you guys different. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, I definitely hate running backs.
McBride season.
Yeah. Right. God. What if he catches a stupid bootleg touchdown against you this week in the Dynasty League?
That'd be so annoying, dude. My league mate complained so much when Chris Moore scored a touchdown. He's like, what are the odds that this guy picks up Chris Moore on the waiver wire and he scores a touchdown?
I mean, the opportunity's there. With
it was, but still, that's
I get it.
Play on my part.
Yeah, well, I started fucking Philip Dorsett, which is probably even more psychotic.
Jamal Williams, I don't think so. Dorsett was running more. Moore was. I only started more because Cooks and Collins were both out. Jamal Williams or Patterson in my flex help me. I'll hit the super. True. We'll give you Jamal Williams there now that CPAT's expected to be limited.
Appreciate that, Kubu.
Need one flex full PPR. Robert Woods, Isaiah Pacheco, Elijah Moore. I'll take Pacheco there, to be honest.
Yeah, I would. Let's go next.
Yeah. Kadarius Toney or Nyheim Hines full PPR.
Toney.
Yeah, give me Toney.
Give me Pittman.
I'll take Pittman slightly over Jamal Williams, but that's close. Palmer, Allen, Lazard. I mean, we've gotten this question. I would take Kirk actually of these guys.
Kirk. Oh, you only have to sit one.
Okay, so Lazard and Kirk are in your lineup. You're sitting Palmer. That's what I would do.
Palmer and Kirk are in your lineup. You're sitting Lazard.
Right. Who would you rank higher this week, Waddle or Kenneth Walker? Kenneth Walker, probably.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I like them both this week. I actually have a bet in the same parlay of the alternate rushing yards over 100-yard game for Kenneth Walker and 90-plus yards out of Jalen Waddle.
I have Walker's my running back 5 this week.
Yeah, Walker's, very, very high in my rankings as well. Oh, my God, dude. One of my dynasty leagues that's, I want to leave because it's run horribly because it's not max points for, and I got screwed out of Breece Hall last year. They're talking about why we shouldn't be able to trade 2024 picks also. These
guys are fucking idiots.
I know. All
right. Either way, let's fucking crunch these.
Yeah. Palmer, Jamal Williams. Give me Jamal Williams there. Frank, Herbert or Deion Jackson. Give me Deion Jackson there. Jamal Williams or Palmer again. Yeah, Williams. That was Jamal Williams. Foreman. Again, please don't ask your questions twice because sometimes I'll just forget what they were asked and I'll just read them twice and it wastes people's time. Foreman or Palmer, I'll take Foreman there. We haven't had a lot of questions about Foreman. Maybe people just know that he's a guaranteed start this week. I don't know. I thought we'd have more questions about him.
Gabe Davis.
Yeah, Gabe Davis for sure. Showing love from Windsor also. Keep doing
appreciate that, brother.
Love the show. Yeah, good Windsor energy. I won a
remember them
lot of at your casino over there before I went to a Lions game.
I remember them Essex Ravens way back in the day when I played for the Ironman. Shout out.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, when I sold my PS5, I sold it to this guy who plays for the UW football team, and he said he played against you in school. I told him that you went to the school that you went to. I won't say it on here, but I told them the school that you went to, and they were like, oh yeah, like I played against them. They were a good team, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fucking jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
He's from London, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I played against a bunch of those London guys. So we were. Yeah. For those of you that don't know Canadian high school football, like STM when I was playing there was legitimately a team that.
Well, that was his reaction. He was like, "Oh, STM, that's a good ass school."
Yeah, like we not only didn't lose games, like we didn't go down in games. Like we basically were beating people like 50, 60, 70 nothing.
Yeah, I played in a Mickey Mouse football league. Like they sucked.
No. I mean, we have a few minutes left. We'll grind through. I just want to say one thing. I still remember the funniest game of my life was in grade 11, right? We were playing, so STM senior team, we were playing against Bishop Tonus under the lights, which was our main rival. They were the rich kids. They live in Ancaster, they're all fucking millionaires, etc. Right? And I still remember they drove down the field on their first drive. We were like kind of taking it semi-serious. And they, on 4th down, instead of going for it, kicked the field goal. And I remember when our coaches brought us back to the huddle after like we're regrouping to return the kick, our coaches are like, they just settled for 3 on you guys. How do you feel about that? And then we're like, they're taking points thinking that this is going to be a competitive game. No problem. Final score was 70-3 under the lights, in front of all the girlfriends, in front of all the chicks at their school. They came fucking like drove over, bust over to watch that game. 70-3.
Love to see it. Anyways, Christian Kirk is the option I'm going with there, Matt.
Yeah.
Foreman or Palmer? Already asked Foreman. Already answered that. Yep. Please stop asking your question multiple times. Swift or Deion Jackson? Deion Jackson for sure. 5-3 in a 12-man, projected to win by 25 points. Should I drop my defense for Rachaad White? Just to have no defense in your lineup, you mean?
I would just wait.
I'm playing your defense. I'm not going to risk that just because you're expected to win.
Yep. Agreed.
But if you have an extra defense, then yes, I would drop it for Rachaad White. Yeah. Flex 2, Pittman, Swift, likely Deion Jackson. Give me the 2 Colts.
Yep.
Kenyon Drake or Cordero Patterson. I'll probably still take CPAT there over Drake.
Kenyon.
You're gonna go Drake over Patterson. Kenyon. Actually, do I have it rated that way? Kenyon. Yeah, I still have Patterson a little bit higher.
Yep.
Doesn't really answer your question, but Curtis Samuel or DeAndre Carter, PPR flex. I'll take Curtis Samuel there.
Got another super chat here quickly from Beanie. He said Rachaad White or Pacheco. I would go with White.
I think I'd go Pacheco there, man. I risk that it's a post-buy rookie bump situation. I think I'd go Pacheco.
That's fair. It's just the Titans front has been so good this year. Like their funnel is in the passing game. Their rushing defense is so fucking good.
Yeah, that's fair.
But again, game script, implied total. I understand the Pacheco play. I think Rachaad White's going to get like 45% of the opportunities in that backfield this week.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to go rapid fire, answer these 4 questions, then we're going to be done here. Boyd, Santana.
Yep.
Likely, JP.
Yep.
Drake, A-Rose.
Yep.
Mr. Skywalker live. Give me Dylan and Swift.
Yep. Agreed. Oh, no. I would go Herbert and Dylan.
I wouldn't. I'd go Swift over.
I go Herbert over Swift.
Yeah, we're kind of differing on Swift a little bit. Give me Kyler there, Lane.
You got Gabe and DJ.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, brother.
Josh, my buddy Josh.
I hope so.
So he says Tony popping because one guy in my league traded Tony for Chris Godwin in like week 3, and he's like, trust me, Tony's gonna pop. And now every week since Kadarius Toney hasn't played a game since then, we're like, oh, is Tony popping? It's like a meme in our league. It's funny. Anyway, Stevenson for 2 is a fair trade in a super flex league, not a 1 quarterback. Yeah, I'm probably on board with that. And I think this was a redraft trade, by the way, Brock, not a dynasty trade. If it was a dynasty trade, it's probably a little bit of a different conversation, but I think it was a redraft trade.
Cousins are, I mean, even if it's a super flex redraft, I would like still probably take.
I would rather have Tua and super.
I would rather have Tua, but like at least that's close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cousins are Tua. I actually have Tua higher. That's close though, really close.
I have Cousins a little bit higher, but they're both like great options.
Same play.
Where are they at with these questions? Yeah, we were, only got to like 12-20 today because there was plenty of you guys in here. Definitely appreciate 120. I think we peaked at or so.
Yeah,
really appreciate all the questions. Again, sorry if we didn't get to your question. As always, if you don't want to have to wait for your question to get answered, you can get our weekly start set rankings by signing up on Underdog using code FSE. You can sign up over on Patreon. to get access to our weekly live streams where there's only like 5 to 10 people in here, and we
Saturday.
get to all the questions, and we replay those over on Saturdays as well if you guys want to check those out to see what you're getting into. But yeah, really appreciate it. Good luck to everybody in their matchups this week. Hopefully we get some W's. Happy Drake London week.
Enjoy some football. Let's go.